Check one. Check, check, check. Check one. Check one. Checking 1, 2, 3. Checking. Checking 1, 2. Check, check. Check one.
So
Paddle.
amazing match point. What athleticism.
And there you have it, your APTA National Champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up and he's right there.
Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Cleveland Racquet Club in beautiful, historic Cleveland, Ohio, bringing you the Cleveland Masters Men's and Women's NRT, the 2022-23 APTA Tour event, which is the fifth stop on the APTA Tour, sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors, Paddle Pro and Fusion, and local sponsors, Viking, Geraci's Restaurant, Trombold Equipment, and Carnegie Investment Council. I'm Matt McClure, along with Randy Markey, bringing you this event. Randy, would you like to introduce our players today?
Absolutely. So we are here in a semifinal match with Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora against Liz Cruz and Marcela Redesno. Let's take a quick look at the draw and how they both got here. They've both had a relatively easy roll into the semifinals. We've got a really great matchup here with our 2 and 3 seeded teams. For those of you who are following along on the live scoring.
Yes, absolutely.
There is a back draw as well as an open draw. So in the main draw matches, scoring is traditional, regular 2 out of 3 set matches. In all back draw matches will be a best 2 out of 3 sets, with the third set being a 10-point tiebreaker.
You gotta love the 10-point tiebreaker. It really, at the end of a long day, is just a godsend of grinding matches out, for sure.
Well, since I am used to being in the back draw, Matt, I'm very well versed in the 10-point tiebreaker.
It's, by the way, let me say, fantastic to get to sit next to you here in Cleveland, you know, coming home of sorts, to get to announce a little bit on the tour event is awesome.
It's a real joy to have you back here in Cleveland. I know there are a lot of people who are excited that you're here.
It is very nice of you to lie to my face. I appreciate that. That's good for everybody. So over here on this near side is Morgan Sikora. And they played pretty well last week at Charities as well. It was nice to be able to get to see them grind out some matches, and it was super fun. Always a very steady team. I know I feel like Allison's best shot is her lob, and I think that she's going to get to show that off. Rough last weekend in Chicago with a crazy amount of wind, probably the windiest tournament in the Windy City that we've ever experienced. But it certainly is going to be nice to see them in normal conditions today.
Yeah, we've got some real paddle weather here today. So you've got
best of 3 sets with tie breaks. On my left, in the deuce court, Liz Cruz from Willamette, Illinois. Her partner on the ad court, Marcela Redesno from Monroe, Connecticut. On my right, in the deuce court, from Lake Bluff, Illinois, Allison Morgan. Her partner in the ad court, from Chesterbrook, PA, Charlotte Sikora.
All right, so Allison and Charlotte put on a great show last week, and they are facing a team that between them has 4 national championships. So this is going to be a real
this perhaps a bit of an uphill battle here, but you know, this is the
They've
best part
the
about
talent.
paddle. Anything can happen.
They've got the talent, but it's definitely going to be a good show here today in Cleveland.
We're starting to get some condensation on the court from the first snowflakes that I've experienced at this part of the season. It's always nice to get to come back to Cleveland and immediately witness, why I left.
Winter, right? Well, better snow than last night in the 90s. Actually, all day yesterday during the 90s, it poured down rain. It was
Absolutely.
It was like a fire hose.
And Cruz Redesno over here closest to the screen also had a great tournament and have plenty of firepower that they can throw at everyone. I feel like recently in watching them play, Cruz has really been bringing a lot off of screen drives, which I know in the early part of the season is a little easier to do as the ball comes out a little farther, but it certainly seems like she can manufacture screen drives from all different parts of the court. And they played with a lot of confidence last weekend, and that was also good to see. We're going to see some different serve styles here as well. Love it that there's some warming up going on with some of the underhand serve and the overhand stuff. I know that that's something that all of these players have the ability to do, but the opportunity maybe isn't always there.
So as we think about this matchup, Matt, where are the safe places on the court for Allison and Charlotte to be playing Redesno?
There is no safe space. All these players will destroy you. No,
no, I'm not playing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. No, I think that the big one here is actually sort of about if I was to put on my coaching hat for this match, letting Allison Morgan get in a groove can be a problem. And I know it seems like because she lobs so well all of the time that maybe it's safe because you're seeing a lot of lobs back. But the reality is that she will pick you apart with her placement and step in and play some block lobs as an offensive lob and absolutely take your time away when you're up at the net. So I think that that's a big one that you're going to sort of observe as the match goes on. I would say the pacing of the match, if they're going to play super fast, that's going to benefit Cruz Redesno. I think they kind of like to play faster and for the most part are very successful with that. So a lot of that like rapid fire style of paddle is probably something that I would see them sort of promote. Now again, we do have some weather conditions going on here, which I would suspect is going to play a little bit of a factor, and if you see some errors creeping in, you could easily see everybody slow it down. But for the most part, that would be sort of my 2 cents.
So Allison and Charlotte are going to want to control the pace of this match if they can.
Yeah, I think Morgan Sikora, kind of their default position is they're going to really try to extend points and just pick and choose their spots. Everybody on the court here is incredibly mobile and fun to watch, so you'll see, a fair amount of blitzing off of returns. You'll see, if a point goes on longer than people are comfortable with, you'll see some blitzing off some lobs.
You can play
and
singles
these teams
for a game,
have
right?
all played together enough where they're going to be able to piggyback off of each other's dynamic. So you'll see a player take off before their partner hits a drive in anticipation. They've played together long enough to know what's about to happen. Which really is a superpower when you think about it, Randy, on all levels. If you can figure out what's about to happen before it actually happens, you're basically in charge of the world.
Well, you and I have done this Vulcan mind meld here today, so I can appreciate what that's like on the court.
You knew I was going to say that. Here's a fun weather report coming out of Cleveland. Just on the fringe of the cell that's moving up north, thank goodness. Last week in Chicago, there was a 11% chance of rain, and it knocked us out for 2 hours on a Friday afternoon. So this is a big blessing here that this stuff looks like it's moving past and just a little bit on the edge.
I'm not good at
Do
math,
you guys want
but
to start with a new one?
pouring down rain and
It's up to you
11%
guys.
chance sounds like a
I think
miss.
I think that was a miss.
we can
Yeah,
do it
but I
every
mean,
seven
if
or
we
every
could
set.
all
What do you guys
be
wanna do?
meteorologists. I think can you think of another profession where you can be wrong half the time and then just
I
be like,
forget,
nah, it's
remind
fine.
It's like us saying somebody's going to win this match.
Agreed. And you know what? I think you're right about that. You're 100% right.
I am 100%
All
right.
right. on
so
that
hopefully
prediction.
she's coming here soon.
But I always feel like this is going to be a fun one. All 4 of these players are really great and entertaining and fun to be on the court, and they're having fun while they're doing it. So that's pretty cool as well.
Well, we will try to keep you updated on the other semifinal match that's being played on the court next door here with Frazier and Makra against Gio and Williamson. When we can get some scoring updates, we'll try to keep you abreast of how things are developing on that court.
All right, well, it looks
Here
like
we
we're
go.
about to get started here. Allison bringing out the early let cord, which is always, always preferred. You want to be on that winning side of the let cord early.
Well, she's been working on that shot.
The paddle gods need to smile on you at the beginning of the match.
Tell her to refresh.
This is going to be very measured here at the beginning
Testing
as everybody
each other.
kind of finds their groove. Really smooth placement from
Love
Allison.
30.
As much as you like to see everybody hitting really big shots, the first few games are absolutely going to be about finding your rhythm and adjusting to the court and your partner.
I've got you up next to me. All right, cool. All right, here she is.
15-30.
Super smooth at the beginning.
Yep. And you see that positioning from Redesno probably played a role there.
That's the blitz tendency that I was talking about earlier. You'll see it from both
15-40.
teams, but that's going to be, a huge part of capitalizing.
Liz Cruz is serving.
It's a lot of
Yay,
converted
Morgan
drives in a
Sakura.
row. That you like to
They lead
see
the first
early,
set, one
just
game
keeping
to
everything
love.
calm.
And to your point, nobody's cracking them. They're just placing them very nicely with
Nope, yeah.
exactly the right pace.
Yep. Keep it smooth.
And for those of us club level players,
Sakura
it's an
to serve.
important note to take here is you don't have to hit 110% on your drive to get a winner.
Yeah, as it turns out, it actually has less value to hit the ball that hard, which is always difficult to explain to people, when you're actually out there, if they're coming from some other racket sports. But really, precision is the key when it comes to this stuff.
There's that screen drive from
Yeah.
Liz you were talking about.
Yep, and just, really good shifting from the teams here, just moving the ball. They've clearly decided that they're going to work a sort of deuce attack and kind of keep the ball on Cruz when they have the opportunity. But pretty easily they're kind of shifting in and out of their offense.
You can see Allison and Charlotte doing exactly what you talked about, keeping that pace at their preferred level.
Yeah.
Love 15.
Low and slow down the middle, not doing anything
That's
fancy.
a nice patient point, actually, from Cruz Redesno to just allow that to develop before, without trying to manufacture an opportunity. Just keeping the ball in play, working the movement. Eventually, they got that drive opportunity. It's a great defensive lob from Redesno. They're going to take the net in transition. Notice Allison stayed
stays put.
because she didn't see any she didn't see Cruz Redesno crashing the net there, so she decided she was going to hold her ground and see if her partner could work the recovery.
You got to have a lot of trust in your partner to stay put.
That's true. Have you ever had that much trust in another person?
No.
Yeah, me
never.
neither.
No. Maybe my wife. Occasionally. But not on a paddle court.
No, I understand. Not about that. Yeah, that's a great transition ball. Good dig by Allison, just poking that ball back in order to get in position, but had to give up the net. So I think one of the big keys to the match that both sides are going to have to manage is getting themselves in trouble with overhitting the overhead, right? So as people are kind of fading away off the net, if they're snapping that overhead down into the court, what's been referred to as that down-up overhead with a little too much pace, teams are going to counterpunch. They're going to find a way to drive off the screen, or they're going to block a ball right back down at your feet, and it just becomes so important to be aware and in control of that pace and how it can affect you. So really great drive that caught the line. Yep, they're going to transition. Really great lob sequence here from Morgan Sikora as well to keep them a little bit on their heels.
So again, for those folks watching at home, let's talk a little bit for the club level player. What's the point of a good lob, Matt?
So the objective of your lob is ultimately to set up your drive, but you have a couple of different layers to that. One is that you could play a purely defensive lob where you're just trying to stay alive if you're kind of grinding a low ball out of the screens. But you can also play an offensive lob, which traditionally is kind of a block lob, right? Where you intercept the ball before it gets to the screen and just put some trajectory on it that forces somebody to step back. But really good lobs in paddle are going to have people outside of the service line. Like that was a particularly good lob. This is also a particularly good lob, forcing the recovery. And it's the short stuff, the short lobs that allow people to stay close to the net that are going to cause you problems for the most part.
So it's hard to get offensive with an overhead from the service line or behind it.
Yeah, the deeper you are in the court, the tougher it is to create angle and find opportunity. You know, that little bit of extra distance gives your opponents more time to adjust to whatever you throw at them, right? They get to see the ball travel longer. I know it doesn't seem like that when you're talking about a difference of a few feet, but it's in terms of how your brain tracks the ball, it's actually a huge difference. What a great pickup from Allison. Yep, she's just going to keep going. Oh, that was such a great opportunity and the right shot. They had both of them sort of playing pure defense up at the net right there with Redesno having that opportunity to take control. Smart, deep, pace-controlled overhead there from Allison Morgan.
Not giving him any opportunity to turn anything into offense.
Yep. And this is kind of interesting here because I would say that that's the kind of point, even though Redesno Cruz didn't win that point, that's the kind of point that they like to play. They sort of don't mind being attacked because it gives them that opportunity to counterpunch. Or add in here for Morgan Sikora. Off the nick, yeah.
Game,
found
Sikora
the corner
Morgan.
and shot right at somebody's face. That's always a fun experience to play, a purely self-preserving act. So Sikora Morgan up here 2-0 in the first set with Redesno serving.
Up 15.
Got caught in transition there.
Yeah, you'll just see the movement from Sikora. She just does not mind getting into the action off of good lobs or things where she knows her partner has been set up. That's good touch, yeah. She'll back off again. Nice. Yeah, that's the kind of ball, that's kind of what I was referring to earlier with that little bit of extra pace on the overhead doesn't necessarily help you, right? Sometimes, the ball comes back faster than you're ready for.
Yeah, she actually took time away from herself.
Right, right. Players that set up early and are looking for a specific shot are going to be able to make those you know, those quick counter punch conversions, and it's going to become easier to put you on your heels. It's great.
Really
Touch.
nice pace.
Mhm.
Yeah. Marcel is looking for that nick.
Yeah, that is a good roller as well. Redesno really has like a high level of control with letting that ball drop low and putting some spin under it. And that's really
15,
more
30.
the point, I think, that Cruz Redesno want to play. They're very good on the scramble. They don't mind shifting around the court and moving a lot and, you know, trying to create opportunities with that movement. So, I mean, they like that, and I think it benefits them with the kind of pace that they usually play at.
They like to create a little chaos.
Yep.
30 all.
Allison let that one drop a little low, caught the top of the tape. 30 all here, I think.
Good
Yep.
pick up there.
Nice hands, good recovery. Smart transition for Allison to just play that smooth and slow and take the net. It's a little too big, I think, wide there. All right,
40, 30.
40-30 here. Cruz Redesno, I believe, game point to get them on the board. Again, tough blitz, just taking away the time. Not doing anything huge with that shot, but just all of a sudden, you know, intercepting that ball earlier and removing time. Deuce game. That'll be a switch. Nice take. Yeah.
Nice switch in the backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, as you were talking about earlier, knowing each other so well. Being able to make that switch in the backcourt to get back to neutral very quickly.
Yep. Tough. That was right on the edge of the line. That lob down the line there. Nice. Really well played there. So starting to see Cruz Redesno get a little bit more in the groove with kind of the way that they traditionally play, which is a little bit more aggressive, right? A little more aggressive with their overheads, and they were landing the ball deeper there, which was getting more balls to the corners, more balls to the screens. Didn't allow anybody to come after him in that point. That, however, is a great return. So balanced. Great move from Cruz to cut off that volley to help protect her partner. Yep. Yep. That's the one that can, that pace on that overhead now, because they're hitting from deeper in the court, can get a little bit of trouble. Let's see those slow down a little bit, I think. Shot. Nice pick out of the nick. Can you go the other direction? Yes. Solid. Both teams playing smart here.
Very patient.
I would say that as these kind of points go on, that's the type of point. This is the type of point that benefits Morgan Sikora a little bit more. I think they kind of like the idea of, you know, slowing everything down, and eventually they did get their lob down the middle with a little miscommunication, and now they get to take the net and go to work. Well, yeah,
There we
there's
get
a
some
big,
aggression.
Big roller, yep.
Right back to neutral, right?
Oh, a little wide. Man, it is just so easy to fall into that trap
Rodenzo.
when you feel like you're starting to gain control and you're forcing people to play defense, and all of a sudden you go for a little too much angle and you're like, oops.
I resemble that, Ramon.
So,
I
you
get
and
a
I
little
play
greedy.
together a lot. I don't know if you resemble that. At least not with the beard.
I aspire to be half as good as any of the four
This
players
is,
on this court.
Yeah, and this is, starting to see more snowfall. The court's going to get more wet. This is going to be a little tougher as the ball gets heavier, and that's kind of Cruz's bread and butter right there, is looking for that screen drive opportunity. Great cover from Redesno. Yeah, that's tough.
Score is deuce.
All right, back to deuce. Sort of an interesting dynamic here, being this early in a set, and also sort of
Advantage
getting the
Sakura.
feeling like maybe this game might be worth the first set, especially as it gets wet, and the ball might start to slide around a little bit. You never like to see that, but it could absolutely happen.
Yeah,
Great return.
Allison and Charlotte certainly are
That is
trying to
tough.
hang on to the
Yep.
mo right
Sakura.
now. And
Yep.
it looks,
They lead the first
like
set,
they've got
3
the
games to
wind
love.
behind them here.
Yeah. All right,
into
well,
the fourth
3-0 Morgan Sakura. We're going to take a quick throw over to our sponsors at Paddle Pro. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to paddlepro.com. All right, so this is going to change the dynamic a little bit as the court gets wet here with the heavy snow. You're going to start to see a little bit different styles of movement on the court. This actually could benefit more pace on the overhead if the ball starts to skid a little bit. And also, if you do hit the ball a little harder into the screens and force people to chase it down, it's tougher to move, right? When the court gets wet, maybe there's not quite as much confidence in your first step. So,
Your footing, for sure.
yeah. At least we're for providing a true paddle experience.
We're
know
giving
what I
them a
mean?
little bit of everything
I mean,
today.
if it's sunny and 60, you're not really getting a snapshot of
Morgan
what
to
the sport is
serve.
all about. It is about absolutely grinding
love
out
First
whatever
set.
you need to do in order to be successful.
And to be as uncomfortable as possible.
And to make your opponents as uncomfortable as possible. Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
And the wet court certainly gives the advantage to the server. So we'll see if anybody can make something out of that.
Yeah, we'll see how this behaves. I'm hoping here that it's not, quite wet enough to just start making the ball jump around, but that right there is going to be an
Love
error that is
15.
driven by conditions. Looking up into a snowflake at the wrong time is going to, you're going to have a few issues with that, but this is good. It doesn't look like anything's skidding around yet.
Not
so
yet.
just playing straight up. That is such a great move by Redesno.
15 all.
I have a feeling that Allison had a little bit of advanced notice that there was some creeping in happening there. She was able to keep it away from her on the edge, but great lob on the return. Nice.
Nice pickup.
Yep. It's good placement. Good move.
There you
Yep.
go.
She just took away enough time on that blitz where she was able to
30,
get the ball
15.
back before they were fully prepared. You're also at the moment seeing Morgan Sikora use a little bit more of the edges of the court, more space with their lob, right? So far, Cruz and Redesno have had to move to the edges of the alley much more often in order to hit their overheads than Morgan Sikora have, which is
Yeah, and a
an
significant,
incredible underutilized weapon, I think.
and a significant portion of those lobs that they're hitting are going on the deuce side alley, taking away that ad side corner
40,
and exposing
15.
the center of the court.
Yep, absolutely. It's a nice recovery. A smart little transition to the deuce side there. Redesno's starting to find her groove a little bit, though. She has a lot of pace she can put behind a drive. So far, she has chosen not to. But those few that we've seen so far in this point have been a little heavier. Yep, caught the line. They're going to transition. Great lob. It's tough.
Game. Morgan Sikora.
Gotta believe the weather had something to do with
A
that.
little bit, yeah. And in transition, especially with snow coming down, if your recovery ball can be a nice high lob like hers was, like how Sikora was able to throw that up and then really put some height on it early, then it forces people to look up there. That's a little bit of impatience,
115.
seeing an opportunity and trying to do more with it than what is you can actually rely on.
Good to see some positive body
15
language there
ball.
between
Yeah.
Cruz and Redesno.
Yeah, this is a situation where you do have to sort of talk yourself out of it, Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that will be a nightmare in these conditions. Somebody puts some spin on a ball like that, and you just don't know what it's going to do. It was a great shot from Cruz. Wow, what a great little piece of defense there as Cruz Redesno are retreating and hitting volleys
40,
simultaneously.
15.
My best shot is also my backing up volley, so this is one of the rare instances where I'm qualified to comment on that particular shot.
You play best when you're in retreat.
Yeah. Wait until you give me my spiel about the reverse split step. Yeah, that is a good opportunity. Great defense there from Morgan. Really smart attack overheads from Cruz Redesno.
Good cover there
Yeah,
from
nice.
Charlotte.
That's a long way to go. Sikora's there. That's another good example of that lob sequence I'm talking about, where it just really feels like maybe Redesno and Cruz are having to move a little farther, to cover overheads and to defend lobs in that situation.
Good patient point from both teams here.
You're going to see this as a point also that is conditions based as well, right? Where, you know, the court's getting a little slick and both teams have gone a little bit into error management mode, and so they're using big parts of the court. You know, you're not seeing crazy aggressive, you know, rollers as overheads. I think Redesno made a great adjustment there after that, you know, sort of low slash overhead attempt that slipped off her paddle too much and went long. So, you know, haven't kind of seen that level of aggression. That's a really nice shot pace-wise to get that to just sort of hug the back screen. And that's going to give them their first game, Cruz Redesno.
They really needed that.
Yep. So Morgan Sikora are serving, and they're going to be up 4-1 here.
All right, let's hear from another one of our sponsors. Fusion, a proud partner to the APTA. Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selections for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate identity. We create a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with gear to fuel your brand.
Well read, Randy.
I wrote it.
All right, so this is absolutely an opportunity here, obviously, with Morgan Sikora being up 4-1. And this is a hole that is difficult to climb out of. Not impossible, but just one of those elements where I think Morgan Sikora are basically going to try to force Cruz Redesno to you know, overplay. You know, and at this point it's going to be difficult. That's a great roller. Yep. And they're starting to ramp up the speed a little bit from the net here. Maybe trying to force some decision making. And we're going to hope that Cruz Redesno do not take the bait, because I know that they are so good at that higher pace that if they wait for the right ball, I mean, they just have the firepower to absolutely, you know, turn the tables immediately. Oh, how the turntables. That's our first skid ball serve right there.
And now we're getting dicey.
Yeah, this becomes real tough to make decisions when you're not sure what the ball's going to do off the deck.
Got a nice crowd here at the Cleveland Racquet Club to watch this semifinal match.
Man, Cleveland is just such a well-kept secret in the world of paddle. I mean, it is such a rabid community for the sport. And it's not the biggest market in the area, but it absolutely is a great group of people that come out and do all this stuff. And, you know, all the tournaments and leagues and stuff that Cleveland puts on is fantastic. Speaking from personal experience and witnessing.
Well, Matt, you've had a big role in helping to grow the game here in Cleveland. We have had yet again great growth in our league this year. And we've got one of the biggest summer paddle leagues in the country, thanks to some hard work by the Greater Cleveland Platform Tennis Association.
Yeah. So Redesno putting a little extra heat on her serve here as well, at least on that last ball to Morgan, to try to, you know, get a little extra out of it, and it did work. Great blitz.
30 love.
Cruz and Redesno fighting to stay in this set.
That is going to be a particularly effective overhead if Cruz can get a hold of those. If she can step around the ball and add a little bit of pace and land it that deep in the court, it is going to be skidding at players' bodies.
Yeah.
not fun to try to get out of the way of a few of those.
Talk a little bit about where your target changes when you've got that opportunity, Matt.
Yeah, I would say that a big piece of playing, paddle without the conditions is thinking about, it's sort of a little bit more like playing pool, where you're trying to figure out where the ball is going to end up. So you have the intention of hitting a ball and getting it to the screen, and the goal is what is that player going to have to do after it hits the screen, right? So you're sort of planning for that when you're up at the net hitting overheads. But when the conditions change and the ball gets heavy and it starts to skid around, you're now thinking about what a player is going to have to do immediately after the bounce. So like I was talking about on that last point, as you're starting to see with some of these overheads as well, they're going to be hitting some balls that are directly at a player. That was a really good pick there from Sikora.
Wow.
But they're going to start to hit some balls deeper and directly at someone with the intention of trying to force them to play the ball off the deck instead of allowing it to go to the screens. And big difference maker when that thing starts to skid around, because you do not have time to get out of the way.
You see Charlotte getting a little more aggressive with her blitzing.
That's a well-placed overhead there from Cruz. She put enough spin on it, and it stayed low enough, or even Sikora kind of just holding her paddle out and trying to block that ball back did not get enough net clearance. Tough adjustment when it's like that. So 5-2, Morgan Sikora in the first set here from the Cleveland Masters NRT. We are at Cleveland Racket Club, enjoying ourselves. Does Cleveland Racket Club still have that steak sandwich on the menu? Because that thing is good. I mean, that's worth the trip. I mean, if we're totally honest.
It's my downfall.
One too many steak sandwiches put you over the top?
Trying to behave myself. And
I totally understand. Oh, yep. That's a really good opportunity there from Cruz. Looking for that ball with a little bit more heat. I really think out of the four players on the court, Sikora has been the only one to sort of really ramp up the aggression on the overhead. She seems to really be swinging after it, and everybody else seems to be a little bit more calm, careful, calculated. It's a great volley there. Yep, and that is going to be something you see from Cruz. If she can get comfortable with that shot, that can turn a match. Nice.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, good coverage as a team. Got to play the corners as a team at this level. You never know when a ball is going to be shot out of the nick and go in any random direction. Great lob.
There's that overhead you're talking about.
Starting to get the sense that Sikora wants this set to be over.
Yeah.
Really winding up on a few of those. These are a little bit less penalty when you hit your overhead a little harder, when it's wet like this.
But to your point, she's hitting them directly at
She is going
Cruz.
right at Cruz, yeah, with that shot. I got to tell you that this is a really cool camera angle in the world of paddle. Like, the snow coming down in front of.
It's like a winter wonderland.
Yeah. That was just a little deep with the push overhead. Really smart there from Cruz Redesno to just start putting their lob higher and higher as the snow gets heavier.
Well, and at this level, a lot of us club level players believe that being at the net is where you have the biggest advantage. But at this level, there's very little advantage to one location or the other.
You have to do a lot of work from both sides. I would say, if anything, maybe it shifts
15,
around
30.
a little bit here when the ball's wet.
When the
and
ball's
skipping.
skipping,
So, yeah,
sure.
You know, you would pick to be at the net in that circumstance, but obviously these players are all good enough to be able to make those adjustments.
Just back.
Just a little deep.
30 all.
We're at 30 all.
Bringing us to 30 all here, yep.
Oh, just
You know,
wide.
that's such a great decision from Cruz, too, because Sikora has
40,
been you know,
30.
moving around a little bit up at the net, but that has the desired effect there from Sikora. She made her watch the move and got the error
There we
out of
go.
it. So
Sikora,
that is
they
our
win the
first set there.
6 games to 2.
Morgan Sikora take that one 6-2. Solid play from both sides. And we're going to hear a little bit from our sponsors here in between sets. Viking, one ball to rule them all. Viking is the one ball consistently chosen for the sport's highest level tournaments, league play, social events, and weekend outings. Viking is the one ball to rule them all. And Geraci's Restaurant, award-winning pizza, classic Italian dishes, and inviting atmosphere, proud supporter of the official pizza of the Cleveland Masters. I gotta tell you, I support that.
You know you're on the map when you have an official pizza.
If you have an official pizza, you are doing it right. So these players taking absolutely no break in between sets, as to be expected when everyone's socks get wet. They're just going to play as quickly as possible. That was my rule. I don't know about you, Randy, but that was my no-go time. I was perfectly fine to be out there in any conditions, but once my socks were wet, I was no longer happy.
That's when I start to offer the Rochambeau to see who wants the set.
That is smart. That is smart. I like that play. All right, so let's see if we can see an adjustment here from Cruz Redesno.
Oh, Charlotte
nice
wants that
try
one back.
there from Sikora, you know, liking the blitz, but maybe just caught a little bit too much on the stretch. Crouching tiger, flying paddle. Great move on that one. Intercepted that early.
15 all.
So what do you think Cruz and Redesno need to change here to get back in this match?
Yeah, you know, this is a particularly difficult situation because under normal circumstances, I was just thinking about that, I would say that with the amount that Sikora is blitzing, that if it wasn't this wet, that they should be considering giving up the net. But you can't give up the net every time in this situation because the overhead, you know, that comes skidding at your body is too devastating. So if anything, I'd love to see some other formations here to see if they can get, you know, in their head and maybe counteract some returns, get a little bit more active with their sort of initial move off the first 3 shots. And I don't think there's a downside for Cruz Redesno here to get more aggressive with their overheads as well. I think you've sort of seen Sikora be the one who's willing to swing at stuff and create a bunch of errors off of that just because that ball is skidding around a little bit. That was a good example. I like it that ball lands deep in the court and got to the corner screen. That's
I'm not asking, I'm just saying.
definitely more what you're shooting for. But, you know, plenty of games early in that first set that could have gone either direction. It's just Sikora and Morgan were playing those big points a little bit better.
There's that lob strategy we were talking about, going down the Deuce Alley. Taking away the natural swing into the ad court corner.
Yep. Good shifting here from both teams. You know, those little incremental moves as the ball walks across the court.
Game, Cruz,
It's tough to pick that ball up off the deck with
Yep.
this.
They lead the second
With
Good
these
patience on
conditions.
that point at the net there from Cruz Redesno. I think that's also going to be a big element, just applying pressure at the right times, especially with the quality of Morgan and Sikura's lobs in general. Just sort of, if I had to pick something up until this point in the match that was really making a difference, it would sort of be that lob quality at the moment. It is funny because I do remember the coaching days of having players walk off the court and asking, what could I have done better? And me saying, you needed your lob quality could have been higher. And they were like, right, but what else? And I was like, nope,
No,
just
that's it.
That was what that was the part you could have done better because it leads to everything else. Yeah, maybe just forcing that a little bit. I know that Cruz hasn't had a lot of those opportunities, and that is her best shot. So, you know, I can identify with wanting to pull the trigger on that ball.
But a little stymied it going over the high part of the net there.
Yep.
But she did have Charlotte off the net. A little unlucky.
Great lob.
Smart.
Yep. Maybe the same situation there. Allison Morgan's reset overhead there might have just been a little too good. And, you know, wanting to pull the trigger, you know, Cruz makes a little bit of an error trying to force it. Really splitting hairs on that one. Nice. That's that overhead right at the body with the low skid that, right, yep, same thing again.
Yeah. Hitting it with a little bit of backspin on it.
Mm-hmm. Just enough to try to get the ball to slide instead of bite, you know. Yep. Yep.
There's the opportunity she's been looking for.
Agreed. I don't think that you want to
30-15.
get stuck in the attack Cruz in the corner mindset too often, especially if you go a little too big with your overhead. She will find a way to throw it back at you off the screen with some pace. Nice. Redesno's starting to move a little bit better here as well. You know, a little bit more bounce.
There she comes.
Yeah, a great move. Good communication there as a team. Oh, no. I got nervous. That was the first slip that I had seen. Yeah, great overhead right there.
40-15.
All right, 45. See if Allison and Charlotte can regain that momentum.
Yep. Seeing a little wide on that ball.
Game, Morgan
So
Sikora.
that's going to be 1-all in the second set. If you were just joining us,
Redenzo
we
to
are
serve.
live with the Cleveland Masters, NRT, the fifth stop in the APTA Tour. I there's 13 events in the Tour Series. The next one coming up, I believe, is Detroit in December 10th.
That's right.
Last weekend was Chicago Charities.
15 love.
Difficult to believe that these weather conditions are preferable to what we experienced last weekend in Chicago, but here we are. Rather have, a little bit of moisture and some snow on the courts than the 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, watching some of those matches, watching lobs go up on the deuce side alley, blow all the way over to the ad side.
Yep. Yeah.
In the air,
this
go out.
Is much cleaner paddle. This is you like to see. This is also, as the fifth stop where these teams have had the opportunity to play a bunch of tournaments together, and it is cool to see everybody, sort of tighten up and make little adjustments and add things to their game and, gain more confidence in their partnerships. That's a great return down the line. Allison switching up the direction, Allison Morgan. And I would expect them to now always put Sikora in the overhead position, on that left side of the court, because she's just really found a groove with her attacking overhead right now.
And you see Allison getting out of her way.
Yep.
Letting her do her thing.
Nice ball. Really good defense here from Rodezno, by the way. Not easy to deal with the spin that's coming out of that shot.
And one of the things that Allison and Charlotte do better than most is their communication is really very strong.
Great drive, good patience from Cruz to wait for the right ball to go after, and they have earned the net.
Good dig there.
A flip out of the nick. Yep, tough one. Oh, what a smart move there from Morgan.
Allison's quite pleased with herself.
Yeah. Turn that screen drive that came directly out of the corner into a little blitz. Nice,
40,
comfortable
15.
attack from the net during that point from Cruz Rodezno. Not doing too much with the ball, not pulling themselves out of position. Good play. Little long.
That was out.
But we're kind of seeing how these conditions are definitely changing the dynamic for this, to be in favor of the server. I think, traditionally, serving is not really an advantage. The statistics suggest that you got about a 50-50 shot at winning your serve.
But real close.
But when the conditions are like this, it definitely changes the timing for the return.
Morgan to serve.
And gives it a bit of an advantage to the server.
And probably for the remainder of the point as well, assuming that the server does actually successfully win the net in that opening salvo of shots. It's a heavy overhead in the sun.
Charlotte.
In the snow like that.
Love.
Sun, snow, what's the difference?
It's fine. It's the jet lag. It was wishful thinking on my part, sorry. I'm sort of projecting.
I like the way you're thinking.
Love.
I believe 30 love here. Sound right? Yeah. Wow. Great defense from Cruz to get out of trouble on that overhead sequence. Now, Morgan's going to take a turn, slapping a ball.
Oh.
That's such a great play from Redesno to see that opportunity and then hold her ground. And not just hit a drive and then retreat, but identify that she was in enough control to maintain her court position. Yep, and this is how you get back into a match, right? You keep hitting your shots, and you hope that there's just enough, off-center contact or a few, shots here and there that kind of leak you some points. And all of a sudden, you're in the driver's seat until the next momentum swing.
But she made two very different choices about her spot on those drives. One framed Charlotte, and the next one was at her hip.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So very intentional.
Yeah, it's a very unique element to the world of paddle. It is, you are rarely trying to hit a ball around a player and instead trying to make them hit a very specific type of shot. This is the shot I want you to hit. Is what you're planning, with your offensive opportunities, because there's just not enough court to go around anybody. Smart reset from Sikora there, but another great lob.
Oh,
yeah, that is a really well played point from Cruz Redesno
30-40
to give them a break point opportunity. And as we've discussed, because serving when it's wet is that much of an advantage, a break is worth more when you're dealing with conditions like this. So if they can convert this, it's a big opportunity.
good patient
Yeah.
point from both teams here. Oh, Charlotte.
A little wide,
Game.
Got a
Cruz
little greedy.
Redesno.
little
They
deep
lead
off the
second
net
set,
to
3
try to
games
work
to
that
1.
angle. And as the
Cruz
quality
to
of
serve.
Redesno's lob has improved out of that ad side, as she's starting to get a little bit more confident, a little bit more depth on it, so has their success.
And there's the break they've been looking for. See if they can keep this momentum.
Really nice little counter punch on that poke
Love
drive,
15.
just blocking it to a space and forcing a stretch volley. It looks like you're starting to see the court dry up a little bit more out there. Hopefully it's slowing down, starting to see a little wider dry
all.
patch. A little
I saw
long,
one.
looks like, on that return.
30-15.
30-15.
Confirmed by the umpire.
Dave Nijedlik deserves a shout out up in the chair, by the way.
Yeah, he sure does.
The least comfortable seat in the house.
40-15.
Not only is it cold, but is dealing with conditions without being a player.
Might be one of the most important and most thankless jobs on a day like
For
today.
sure. APTA is lucky to have a great crew of umpires that are willing to do this and make it work. And step in at the right time. You know, break up fights, that kind of thing.
Things can get dicey out there with these women.
No, just you know, but definitely one of those things. It's just much needed. You know, whole crew of people to make tournaments work.
Well, and a big shout out to.
The left board is going to cause
There you go.
enough of a problem there.
Well,
Quick turn.
big shout out to the team here
4 games to 1.
with
Morgan
Leah
Sakara
Morris and the
won
rest of the
first set,
GCPTA
6 games to 2.
team that is putting on a terrific
Sakara
event
to
here.
serve.
Let's hear from another of our local sponsors, Trombold Equipment. Trombold Equipment, the #1 choice for sales and service of pumping equipment for over 60 years. Great to have
Trombold
their
Equipment.
support here in Cleveland. Big supporters of the local paddle scene.
All right. Do you want to give a pep talk real quick to Morgan Sakura deep in this second set? You know, I know they can't hear you, but
15 love.
Well, I need.
where would you be telling them to go as the dynamic has shifted a little bit here for the match?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's. I've got to give a lot of credit to Cruz and Rodesno for the defense they've been playing in the backcourt has really been solid.
Yep.
And I'd like maybe to see them test Marcella a little bit more because Liz has proven that she's not going to crack.
Agreed. Yeah, I do think, you know, especially coming out of that deuce corner where you're forced into, you know, kind of shifting and following the ball. I think that aside from the skid overheads that they've been able to get to slide off the court, I don't think Cruz looks particularly uncomfortable with the ball coming at her at this point.
Except for that one.
Except I have now lived out the announcer's curse in which whatever you say will have the opposite effect on the match. I'm very good at it. All I know is I did not win the $1 billion lottery. Let's see if we can get that to work.
What a great
Good transition
lob volley there. See, Charlotte is getting ready to. She's looking for her opportunity to pounce.
Yep. Yep, Sakura definitely looking for that chance, wanting to move forward.
I think they just saved her there. A little aggressive.
Morgan Sakara.
Just got caught a little
Cruz
deep in the court, and
are
that
up
ball did not
5-4-2.
dip off of her paddle
4
the
games
way
to
that she
2
wanted it
is,
to.
Second set. Rodesno to serve.
Oh, that's tough. A really good point.
15
You know,
love.
Morgan has really worked hard to create a little bit more offense off of her backhand side. I know it didn't pay off in that particular situation, but she, you know, has definitely been working to keep it from just everything that's to her backhand side being a lob, and you're seeing her hit a lot more placement drives.
What a great dig there
Really
from Liz
good
Cruz.
pick. That drive through the middle caught the baseline. Switch it up. Smart. Ooh, great little let cord volley. That is tough to do. Really high quality lobs coming from Cruz Redesno right now, forcing everyone is backing up behind the service line, with the exception of that one.
Yep.
And that is where the short lob will come back to bite you.
15
And
all.
once again, I said it out loud, so that is my fault. Sorry about that, ladies.
I think that Charlotte would like for you to speak negatively about what's going on a little more often.
Turn the other direction?
Yeah.
Will you stop complimenting me? It's ruining my tournament. Oh, that is such a great overhead. Knowing that Sikora is on the move, a little bit out of position, she has to let the ball go to the screen, and she was able to put it right into the nick. Yep. Fast hands up there.
40-15.
So 40-15. Redesno serving.
Certainly feels like this momentum shift is sticking.
Yep. Yep.
Gabe,
And you definitely
Cruz,
are seeing
Redesno. They lead the
Morgan
second set.
Sikora try to
5 games
force
to
it
2.
a little bit.
Morgan
You
Sikora
know,
won the
at
first
this
set.
point,
6
a
games
few
to
more
2.
missed drives in the net,
Morgan
a few
to
more,
serve.
kind of off balance shots, and all of a sudden, 5-2 Cruz Redesno.
Yes, that's fine. We can do it now.
Gonna get a ball change
I
here.
think they get a ball swap after
Yep.
7 games. Yeah, especially when it's like this. Probably want to take advantage of it, I would assume. You know, the running joke here with me having the announcer's curse is actually reality in the human psyche. I used to coach players that anytime someone was doing something particularly well, you should compliment them. Because there's something in the human brain that starts to question success. You are serving so well today, it is unbelievable. And then just wait for your fault. It's just the way that it works. All right, so they flipped the script a little bit here with Cruz Redesno now kind of finding more of the edges of the courts with their lob, and you're
15
starting to see
love.
Morgan Sikora feel forced to hit the ball side to side. Just a minor shift in target turns into a big result.
30
I
love.
actually really like seeing Redesno take that swing as well. You've got a little buffer, test it, see what it's going to do. It's a new ball. Great ball there from Cruz. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yep, that's tough. I think
30,
Morgan
15.
hoping there that Sikora was going to be a little bit more aggressive when she stayed at the net in that situation, and it unfortunately did not pan out that way. Great return. Just such nice, calm defense from Cruz. Dealing with that roller, knowing exactly where it's going to come to her off the screen. Yep.
switch at the net there.
Yeah.
Gets
This
Charlotte
is
back hitting the overheads.
Probably the right play strategy-wise to get some more looks for Sikora's overhead. Yep, they're going to have to give up the net on that.
Charlotte did a nice job backing off there.
Oh, good pressure there by Morgan. You know, just sort of, you know, getting the ball
40,
down to
15.
Cruz's feet and then making a move that sort of forced the error. Starting to see Cruz here get a lot more comfortable, though, with her drive and movement, which is, you know, when she starts to play like that, where she's just setting up early for drives and finding opportunities, you start to feel like you're in trouble. Great dig out of the corner there from Redesno, using her natural ability to stay low. How much of a benefit do you think height is in the game of paddle?
I think it's a pretty significant advantage.
I think it helps in some capacity with the reach, and probably also there's some physics involved in what you can make the ball do, you know, with a full wingspan and like full extension. Oh, there's a little
Game. Morgan
let-court
Sikora.
dribbler.
Cruz Redenzo lead the second
I think
set,
there's also
5
some
games to
element
3.
to, you know, controlling the trajectory
Cruz to
of
serve.
shots, you know, like trying to let an overhead drop nice and low before making contact. Probably is a little easier to do when you're lower to the ground. It's a tough defensive volley off her throat for Redesno to come up with there.
She's taking dead aim at that neck.
Mm-hmm. And now you're starting to see more of the aggressive overhead tendencies come out from Cruz Redesno. Nice placement there from Morgan. Great volley by Cruz to allow them to hold the net. Yeah, but this is a good example of a condition shift, right? It dried up just enough where the ball's not skidding anymore and it's not soaked and heavy. And so now it's
Now we're back to
given
playing
the-
chess,
yeah,
right?
Now we're sort of back to playing more traditional paddle without being concerned about what the ball's going to do, and it sort of really has put Cruz Redesno back in the driver's seat of the set. Just looking like their movement is more confident and their ball striking is more confident, a little bit less careful with each shot. It's good opportunity there. Smart.
Smart choice.
Yep.
I think that's been one of the most fun things to watch about Allison Morgan's game is just how smart she plays.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. She's a tactician out there, looking for opportunities, making little adjustments. That's a couple of big drives there from Sikora.
Love 15.
What a great volley. That is just a tough situation. But that is what I mentioned, early in the match during the first point.
Love,
Socorro
30.
Morgan did need to get on the good side of the paddle gods for that initial let cord, which is obviously carried through.
Allison Morgan is sorry she's not sorry there.
Oh, that is a really good, again, overhead at the body that forces Morgan to
15-30.
let it go past her, but enough spin on it where it's just difficult. It's coming right back at your body a second time. What a great get from Redesno there.
So what percentage of the time do you think they hold your hand up and wave "I'm sorry" after a shot like that is sincere?
I will
0.0?
I will be
Or is it
0.0. I don't know. Maybe less than that. I will be totally honest with you that from a player perspective, it's more of there being an element of it's a weird thing to say, but sort of a sense of honor that's like, I recognize that I win that point, and I'm happy I won that point, but I also know that it wasn't the cleanest way to do so, And so it's somewhere between, a let cord and when your opponent slips and falls down and you still hit the next shot, but then check if they're okay. You deserve to win the point, but you might not feel great about the way that you did it.
Matt, every time I win a point, I feel great about it.
Regardless of circumstance.
100%.
Listen, I'm really sorry about your Achilles, but man, am I glad I won that point. It's tough. This is going to be
30 all.
really solid battle here. Turning the tide.
Ooh. As you like to say, that serve looked to be about
40,
97% out, making it 100% in.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Cruz and Redesno have done a phenomenal job fighting off the Socorro
Game.
blitz.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say that that's another
Redesno.
huge
They
adjustment,
won the
particularly
second
on
set. 6
Cruz's
games to
serve.
3.
She has found a
Morgan
way
Socorro won
to
the first set.
really
6
get
games
comfortable
to
with her
2.
first volley and is keeping the ball away from Socorro. That absolutely killed him in the first set. It was kind of like Socorro was blitzing at will.
All right, so we're going the distance here.
This is the way it should be. No, I mean, you like to see, you get to the semis and you're in a battle, 3 sets. Both teams making great adjustments for both conditions and tactics simultaneously.
Socorro to serve.
So do you see anything here that you believe gives either one of these teams an advantage going into this third set?
Yeah, I would say that Cruz, Redesno are definitely bringing the momentum from that last set
12-15.
with them. And I think with the, again, just a little bit less moisture on the court, I think that benefits Cruz, Redesno, that they're going to, they're kind of back in their comfort zone of swinging at the shots that they want to pull the trigger on and maybe playing a little bit less forced defense. That was tough. Right on the edge of the line with the roller. So it'll be interesting to see this here because I would think that it would, again, benefit Socorro Morgan to slow more stuff down and control that pace and not, let Cruz Redesno get too comfortable and adjust to, acclimate to the speed too quickly. Easier said than done, but
see the value of those deeper lobs to the service line,
Yep.
forcing the overhead to really, more often than not, go down the middle.
Great speed. Oh, it drifted a little bit wide, but a really solid point from both teams. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I also think that that long, slower point from Morgan Sikora at the net is a great way to neutralize momentum, right? Like, we're starting a third set, and, clearly Cruz Redesno were in the driver's seat for most of it.
15-30.
And if you want to reset the momentum, you better play some long points where everybody forgets what happened in the last few games.
I think Sikora would like that last one back.
Really tough shot.
Wow.
From Sikora. Just hard at the body, deep, no chance of getting out of the way.
That was Johan-like.
Yeah, there is a depth of lob if it lands too short in the court where you are just immediately in trouble, and that was one of those circumstances. Just
30.
the short lob turns into very difficult defense right away. All right, so 30 all here in our first game. Just a little deep.
40-30.
Definitely seeing Cruz Redesno be a little bit more selective about when they're going to play offense. Just making solid decisions. Nice. Smart little attack and retreat there from Cruz. A great shot. Nice pick.
Good cover right there.
Really good court coverage as a team. I don't know how much of a benefit it is to attack and hit the ball that hard at Cruz. I like that shot a little bit better, but I would just say that just because I feel like Cruz has such great control over the screen drive, I don't know how many chances you want to give her.
Especially as she's getting closer and closer to that service line.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity there. I mean, I know she clipped it in the tape, but they did hit that ball right at her, which forced a little bit more of a difficult shot. But, I mean, I've just seen her flip the switch so many times from being attacked to crushing a backhand screen drive at you from three-quarters court. You're playing with fire on that one for sure.
Cruz to serve.
Well, Morgan and Sikora were able to break the momentum swing here, at least for the first game. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Starting to see Morgan go for a little bit more on her backhand side, which isn't, typically her MO, but I do think it's one of those things that she's committed to improving on because it sort of hasn't been her normal style for a while.
Well, and if she can get that dialed in, it takes away that safe spot on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you just have to swing it a couple, to try to, send the message that, like, hey, I'm not going to let you just feed me nothing shots with no penalty.
30, love.
Another great first volley, keeping the ball away from Sikora on the blitz.
Pick up off the seam there. All right.
Yep, nice point.
30, 15.
That's a couple of let cords in a row there. It's going to make that
30 all.
difficult. Just such great control from the volley on Cruz. It's even when she's pressured, she's just staying low and balanced and just directing the ball away from trouble, not letting Sikora be, picking off floaters from the middle of the court. Good close by Redesno, seeing that drive opportunity really early and stepping up.
Nice
Nice
probing
volley
drive.
again. Cruz again neutralizing trouble. Really great contact from, improving court position the whole time. This style of point here for all four players that truly, makes it a battle. You're seeing good decisions on the drive. You're seeing good positioning from the net. And there's a let cord that clipped the tape and dribbled over.
40-30.
You occasionally get into a position on a paddle match where you start to feel like a let cord is one of the only ways to win a point. When all four players can get dialed in, where you're, everybody's shifting, moving well, making every volley, hitting great, targets, and all of a sudden you're like, how long is this going to take? That was good pressure, and Sikora changed the direction that she blitzed that time, where she hit that ball cross court and then closed that same way to try to mess with Cruz's first volley.
And changed that pace on that drive as well. Hit a little bit of a change up.
Yep. Gave her some more time to adjust and take a step.
So we've got an update from the other semifinal match. Frazier and Matrica won the first set over Gia Williamson 6-4, and they are at 1-1 in the second.
Another good match as well going on over there. Gia Williamson, the 1 seed. No real urgency from Morgan Sikora to switch back into their, starting sides of the court. Oh, really good ball there to find the nick. But no lobbing and switch back for Morgan to be on the deuce side where she plays 90% of the time. Just kind of comfortable giving them a different look, I guess.
Serve was called out.
Just a hair deep. You're just joining us. We are in the third set here at the Cleveland Masters NRT, men's and women's. Coming to you from the APTA network. I'm Matt McClure alongside Randy Markey. This is the women's semifinal. Tournament director, Leah Morris. gotta say, I like that swing, even though it drifted long. I think there was an opportunity to step up there. It's a good decision. Great lob.
We've kind of seen the pace of play here slow down a little bit
Yep.
to Morgan and Sikora's benefit, I believe.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I think that I know all four of these players can play the patient point. I just don't know that that's the preferred style of play all the time from Cruz Redesno, which is actually an interesting thing to say because Sikora is very aggressive with her movement, and so she's looking for opportunities to blitz. But I don't think that it, by design she wants to play fast, short points. I just think she's very good at looking for that opportunity.
And when you have a partner like Allison who lobs that well, you got
If someone is
plenty of
always gonna bail
opportunities.
you out, then you can run all over the place.
Nice probing drive.
Yeah.
Keep her honest.
Really smart here for them to keep the attack on Morgan as well, because she's had to dodge a few balls and get out of the way and make some different stuff happen, and like they're forced it a little bit as finally getting an opportunity after playing that much defense is so easy to overplay that ball. So Cruz Redesno with an opportunity here. Great drive from Sikora on the return. I think you always have to be concerned about that shot from her when she gets both feet inside the baseline. she reads that serve early, and she's able to step that far into the court that it's just going to be a real tough sequence for you to get out of trouble on.
It has been interesting. We haven't seen a lot of service returns being problematic. today.
No, I think maybe with the exception of when the snow got real heavy there midway through the second set and the ball was kind of sliding off people's paddles, I think all four players sort of
Advantage
made the
Sikora.
adjustment to either put the drive in play or start throwing up some lobs. And so, I think as a result you saw maybe a few less errors in that opening sequence of shots. And now everyone really seems to have dialed in to try to play in a lot of long points here. Right into the corner.
Wow.
Yep. Great shot.
Deuce.
All right, back to deuce. Oh, wow.
Great spot.
Morgan has only pulled that out a couple of times this match where
Advantage
she's really
Sikora.
hit a heavy cross-court angle with an opportunity to drive. And so far it's paid off. She, has really sort of caught them dedicated to the middle and watching the ball go around them in the alley on the angle. Stretch. Nice block.
Good move
Good
there
pickup.
by
Yep,
Allison.
smart. Bail off the court. Good recovery ball. Redesno getting out of the way like a professional. What a great point from both teams.
Both teams. Very patient point. Couple of offensive opportunities. But ultimately, it was great placement on that overhead. Caught Allison a little flat-footed.
It doesn't happen very often.
Advantage Cruz.
And that return from Morgan just didn't quite get down enough in the court to set Sikora up for what she was trying to do, and so Cruz was able to sort of stick the volley and take away any options that Sikora had on the blitz. Yeah, let's have some more left courts. That's a great play right there. That's a little forced.
Gotta let that one go.
Yeah, I think
Big
Morgan was
Cruz
just, I mean, she set it up so
Rodezno
perfectly,
is
and
one
obviously there
game
was an
apiece
opportunity there,
in the
but
third set.
Rodezno just came up with two high
Morgan
quality
to
shots.
serve.
Right, just was able to sort of push the ball straight ahead and keep it low, and it's real tough to make blitzes convert when you are on the stretch.
Well, and when you've committed to closing that, it's hard to let it go. All Allison saw was ball.
Couple real slappy overheads from Sikora there, changing the pace a little bit. Nice roller.
Here we go.
Catching the edge and dying quickly.
15 love.
Nice. Screen drive. Morgan stepping up immediately to shut down that drive off the volley.
Switching again in the backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, at the net.
Yeah, I
To
think
give Sikora the opportunity to hit those overheads.
it's tough. Forced him to shift around on that one a little too much side to side, and then got kind of caught leaning one direction. One Direction's such a great band. Whatever happened to them?
I don't know, you still have your poster up on your ceiling?
Who doesn't? Yeah, this is a good sequence here, just in terms of quality of lobs from Cruz Rodezno. Just sort of start to get the feeling that they're in control of the point when they're sort of picking their spots at will. Yep, great shot. It's a particularly good volley by Morgan to really get down and dig that ball and control the volley. Oh, that's such a great point from both teams.
15-30.
The just slight kind of mishit off-center volley turns into a short ball that Cruz capitalizes on.
Really good lobbing.
Yeah, just lobbing so well at this point where just every contact from Morgan Sikora right now is from way outside the service line. There's another great lob. Got it. We're going to transition. Oh, what a
Allison
great
stays
hold.
put.
Yeah, great hold from Morgan to wait to make a decision and see how that was going to develop. I think if Rodezno takes that out of the air and moves forward, they earn the net, but she wasn't in position to make that happen.
Good defense there from Liz Cruz.
Yeah,
Very well played point from both teams here.
Yeah, this is going to benefit Cruz Redesno as they are starting to force more overhead, kind of forced overhead opportunities from that deep in the court. There's just not a lot you can hurt somebody with when you're lobbing that well, and it eventually earned them the net. That is a perfect blitz
Beautiful
from
blitz.
Sikora off of the lob.
30 all.
Just good timing, sort of a first surprise. Hadn't been blitzing off of lobs that often. Cruz has really started to step over and intercept a lot more of those of Sikora's roller overheads instead of letting them go to the screen. She's starting to block them back and not let herself get buried in the corner. That's tough. Another really solid point.
30, 40.
So I'm pretty sure Cruz Redesno have break point opportunity here. From Redesno, really tough, low in that side screen. Not a lot of space.
And we're back to neutral.
Yep. Now, at the risk of totally screwing her up, it certainly feels like Cruz has absolutely locked in. I mean, she hasn't missed a drive in the last 25 swings. 26. Nice dig. Smart. That's tough. Caught in that soft side screen.
Score is deuce.
Didn't quite come out the way that I think she wanted to. So it must be a deuce here.
It is deuce.
Great movement to get out of trouble. A little late on the communication piece, but Morgan doing her job and stepping up to intercept the drive. Knowing that her partner was a little out of position on that one. Yeah, I'm just not going to
Well, there's
talk
the
about anyone
curse.
again. Yeah, I was just I'm never announcing another
And
match.
Liz.
Makes me feel
advantage
bad.
Morgan.
Liz would like you to stop talking now.
Yeah, that's just too. Yeah, I just think that's too deep of a of an attacking
Yes.
overhead for Sikora to go for there. She's too far off the net. The ball's not going to stay that low. Cruz is going to use that to turn into offense immediately.
That's great spot on that
Yep.
drive. Right on her right hip there.
Advantage
Making that
Rodenzo.
chicken wing volley difficult.
This has been a solid game from both teams. You know, lots of little adjustments. Nobody willing to go for broke and having it turn into like immediate errors. Mostly just high quality shots. Buried that one in the corner.
Deuce.
Rodesno just a little trapped along the side screen. That's tough. Got the transition that they wanted and took the net off of a good
Advantage
return.
Morgan.
It's almost like those first couple of balls that you hit when you're in transition need to be so conservative. You go for too much, and all of a sudden, you know, the error creeps in because you're not really comfortable in your positioning yet.
Well, Rodesno owes me $10 because I have a patent on that shot.
Did I teach it to you? You can't blame me for this.
No, against your better efforts.
Such great coverage as a team, especially, yeah, just as you can sort of sense, right, that as the
Score is
point
good.
goes on longer, you're getting the impression that Sikora is trying to do a little bit more with each sort of attacking overhead, and unfortunately in this couple of games it has turned into a few more errors rather than winners.
Yeah. And
called
it's-
wide. I'm pretty sure that was wide.
It's also
yeah,
tough to hit that
Advantage
roller while you're backing up.
Rodenzo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, you know, as we talked about briefly before, as you are seeing the quality of lob go up from Cruz Rodesno, you are also seeing the conversion of points and more opportunities to play kind of their style of game, a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive than what Morgan and Sikora usually generate. That's tough.
Game. Cruz Rodesno.
Tough, just a little
They
jammed
lead
up,
the
sort of
third
leaning
set,
one direction.
2
I'm pretty
games
sure
to
Sikora
1.
really felt like that ball was going to get hit to the middle, and she had started to set up for the drive in
Sikora
that
the
direction,
serve.
and then all of a sudden it popped in on the inside of her body. That like left hip where you have to lean and swing is always a tough shot. Well, that's a particularly good game. Well, what are you thinking here? You know, early in a third set, do you have any stuff that, you know, you've been told by previous coaches in any capacity that would be good to think about as sort of a self-assessment at this point?
Well, I do think that what we're seeing here is both teams are starting to play very smart paddle, being very patient. Great job holding to stay on serve. Got a ball change here.
Yep.
I like the body language here from Sikora and Morgan.
Desno and Cruz also quick high five to get the game started. This is a good lob sequence from Morgan Sikora. They're keeping Cruz deep in the court and forcing her to move side to side, getting her to step back regularly on these overheads. It's probably where they want to be. Ooh, little casual half volley pickup from Cruz.
Really good pickup.
Wow. Might have been a bit of a miss hit, but it dropped in.
She missed it just right.
Yeah. I've missed the perfect amount. Good shift. That is a really patient and good decision there from
Love
Morgan.
15.
She had passed on that screen drive opportunity 3 or 4 times. Nice volley. Really good blitz by Sikora. Just
They've been
excellent
so
hands.
tough. They've been so tough defending those blitzes.
Yeah, I would actually say that the first set going to Morgan Sikora had a lot to do with the blitz and sort of just they were sort of allowing Sikora to just sort of put balls away and take the net at will almost, and they have really tightened it up for the second and start of the third. This little probing drive there from Morgan as well to just force a step.
Oh, great
wow.
spot.
That is a tough angle to come up with off of that
Love
backhand
30.
side. Really good point. Good return and transition. Good ball. And that's about the time in a match where you are very angry with the let courts. They've been very one-sided towards Morgan Sikora, and you don't want to believe that it's enough to turn the outcome of a match, but man, if that happens at the wrong time, it is incredibly difficult to keep your wits about you. Nice.
Wow.
Look at this exchange. Great dig. Rudesno getting really low on that volley to control that shot. Great lob. Great lob. Caught her retreating, and she was trying to push it deep
Morgan
to stay out of
Sikora.
trouble and just missed it
It is
long.
2 games all in the third set. Sikora to serve.
Worth mentioning here in the world of paddle that it's kind of a unique element, but the ball is your tool for moving people where you want them to be. So you'll often see these kind of half-speed drives, right? These sort of little floaters that all 4 players are willing to push into the court. And it's not necessarily that you're trying to win the point outright, but it's a tool for forcing someone to move in a different way. So you hit sort of a half-speed drive, and they have to step forward, and they have to get low in order to make a volley and keep control. So it increases the efficacy of your lob when you occasionally force players to make a physical adjustment to hit a different type of shot. Just a little wide.
That probing drive also
15 love.
occasionally forces a volley that is coming from their shoestrings.
Right.
Makes it a
Yeah.
high volley, which gives you another driving opportunity.
Totally agree. If they're not willing to take the step and move forward, and they let the ball come to them, all of a sudden you are digging something out that you do not want to be playing from off the deck. That's a really good overhead
15
from
all.
Cruz Redesno. A little bit off center with the
15.
block lob, dropping short.
Good leave there.
40,
I think
15.
Morgan pulled that out of the way in order to let that ball go long.
Yes.
That's a really good lob to, yep, they're in trouble almost immediately, yep, off of that lob. That's almost one where you have to force yourself to play
40,
the reset overhead
30.
and then bail out, right? Nothing good is going to happen when you and your partner are occupying the same 3-foot box on the court and all of a sudden almost stepping on each other, and then you're trying to maintain the
Score
net
is
position.
due.
It's not usually going to go well. Sometimes you got to cut your losses.
Oh, great
That's
pace.
a tough waterfall. It did not come out of that back
Advantage
screen the
Sikora.
way that Redesno would have hoped. Good transition off the return to take the net there. Great volley. I like the pressure from Sikora. Just Redesno fully prepared. It's a nice sequence there. Good shot from Cruz to step back early and hold the net position. Oh, what a great point. That was a really good sequence of drives. Both the drives forced Cruz to stretch from one side to the other with just great targeting, but she came up with both volleys. There's that off speed that you were talking about. Just dipping enough where, you know, sometimes it gets you because the speed, you know, doesn't intimidate you, and so you're already thinking one shot ahead. You know, the ball's not on your paddle yet, and you're already thinking, like, this is where I want the volley to go.
And my tendency in that instance is I find myself missing that volley because I'm looking at the spot on the court I want to put it because I've got way too much time to think about it.
Yeah, looking at your target instead of
watching the ball to the
actual
paddle.
Contact. Yeah. Gosh, just one of those things that's so easy to say and so difficult to do. If you've ever heard a professional say, watch the ball, just so we're clear, that's what they're talking about, is watch the ball, touch your racket face. Watch it touch your paddle face. Don't get distracted. Squirrel! And look off to where you want it to go. It's a 3-2 here. Good return there from Morgan to step up inside the court early and take that ball at the peak of its bounce. Same situation there from Sikora.
30.
All right, so here we go. A little altered formation. This is smart. They've hit a couple of good returns. They got away with that one as well, but they're making them think and make adjustments.
Love 40.
It's really the first time in this match that we've seen the service return be a factor.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Little deep.
15,
Roller.
40.
And we're seeing a little bit more here. This is what I mentioned earlier. I know they were not wanting to give up the net because of the conditions, right? You can't afford to give up the net when the ball's skidding all over the place. But now, to take away the returns and the blitzing from Morgan Sikora, Cruz and Redesno have absolutely just decided to stay back and change it up a little bit to give them a better opportunity to get into the point.
Wow.
Great reset. That's tough. Nice dig. No, really going after that one. Desno's there.
Oh, good recovery.
Yep. Tough dig.
But
I
this
think
is
she was in a little more trouble there without the let cord, actually. I think that one actually helped her stay in that point.
been an absolute clinic in lobbing.
Yeah. That's really tough, just so
Hey,
hard
Morgan
at the
Sikora.
body.
We are at 3 games apiece. Third set. Morgan to serve.
See, that's smart. Just, being careful in the transition, not overplaying the shot, being willing to give up the net at the right time. Make somebody win the point 2 times. A great dig from Sikora in the corner. That ball looked like it was nearly on the ground.
There was a great offensive opportunity.
Love
A little unlucky there
15.
catching the tape. Sikora would like that swing back. It's the right shot.
Oh, I mean, you just really start to get the sense that Cruz Redesno are in control of the point when that lob, pushes both players that far back, and now there's a lob location that's causing some confusion between the Morgan Sikora and it just. I'm also starting to get the impression here that they are trying to freeze out Cruz a little bit. I think that they, as we talked about earlier, sort of figured out that maybe the attack to the deuce side and letting Cruz hit a whole bunch of drives is maybe not the strategy for success that they were hoping. They're still willing to attack, her on the right ball, but Morgan and Sikora, that as an opportunity is a different thing. Yep,
Yeah.
but they're just not letting her, swing away at will from that deuce side.
Yeah, and they're making Marcella play.
Yeah, smart. Not like it's easy. I mean, she lobs well, but it's going to hurt you less in theory. Redesno's coverage in that ad side has just been so solid all day. I mean, she moves well. It just seems like it takes so much to get her uncomfortable in that position. Yep. And I would be willing to bet anything that is sort of the Morgan Sikora strategy right there. The whole goal of forcing Redesno to play more in the ad side is to try to get Cruz to maybe stretch and hit a drive that she shouldn't and try and make something happen. Shot.
That roller stays nice and low off the back wire.
Yeah, smart. This is super fun. We have gone back to paddle 101 here. We are attacking the ad side and refusing to let the deuce player drive the ball.
15.
And we are on the backcourt. Cruz and Redesno are lobbing down the line and waiting for the perfect opportunity to hit a shot.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Really tough game from both teams, getting the sense that always important 7th game is the first step towards a match victory. So Morgan Sikora go up 4-3. They're going to change ends. This is the first of our coverage of the 4 announced matches that we have coming from the Cleveland Masters. Real quick after this, we're going to have a men's semi, and then come back again after that match for the women's final. And I'm lucky enough to get to do all of those matches with the beautiful and talented Randy Markey.
Beautiful is a word never used to describe me, ever.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Well,
oh, wanting to let that ball drift wide, and Redesno just couldn't quite get her paddle out of the way on that one. Redesno serving. Big body language shift from Morgan Sikora here. Low in the stance.
Big time.
Staring down that that incoming return to serve. A little more flow.
Looks to me like Sikora has decided she is winning.
she is going to drive this return, no matter what. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
So I do have an update from the other semifinal.
15-40.
I have to say I apologize. We were given a miscue on the score in the first set. Gio Williamson advanced to the finals 6-3, 6-3. And they will play the winners of this match that you are watching right now.
Short, that could pose a problem. Really good move.
Great read.
Yep. Morgan jumped out so early on that ball.
She saw that wind up.
She was ready. She was ready for that heavy roller to come at her. It's another great lob. That's a tough sequence right there.
30-40.
Get, Morgan wanting to commit, seeing the opportunity to drive, but maybe not fully committed to the execution of the shot. Oh, and a lead cord. Oh, wow.
Way to get out of the way.
Recovery ball. Good hands by both players on that one.
Sikora bailed exactly at the right time.
Yep.
Keep herself from being a target. Very effective overheads there.
Yeah, good
Allison
shots.
is doing a great job defending herself in that corner.
Burying it in the corner. Cruz Redesno maybe starting to amp up a little bit too much pace. I like it that they're continuing to attack from close, but you hate to see it go the opposite way on you. Yep, and that's going to allow him to reset. That's a smart down the line overhead. Nice move from Morgan to find a drive opportunity there with her backhand. Great lob. From Cruz as well with that direction change. She has such a good sense of when that player on the deuce side has started to get complacent. You know, like maybe they've crept to the middle a little bit too much to help their partner out, or they just haven't seen a ball in a while. Cruz is just particularly good at reading that, you know, opportunity and saying, I'm going to try to put a ball behind you and make sure you're still awake over there.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Sikora got away with a short drive there, or
Yep.
short lob, sorry.
What a great point.
Game.
Smart
Morgan
play
Sikora.
by
That
both
is just
teams.
one of
They
those
lead the
points
third
where you
set
could tell
5
that
games
Morgan
to
Sikora
3.
were essentially like, if we can just survive
Yeah.
in this point long enough
Sikora
to have an
serve.
opportunity.
And now they're going to try and close it out
Yeah.
with Charlotte
Sounded at the
Sikora
right
serving
time. Yep.
to try to close out the third set here in the semifinals of the Cleveland Masters. Well, a little controversy over the
I
line
thought
call.
that caught the line.
Real tough
That's a good, so that's 15 love.
decision. Right on the edge there, sort of in the corner of our view, unfortunately, not
15
able
love.
to quite see where that ended up. Big return from Redesno. First time you've seen both of her feet come off the
15
deck and going after a return of serve. Oh, that is a ball that Cruz absolutely loves. And I know that she is
30,
wanting that one
15.
back.
Would like that back.
Unfortunately, yeah, that is a good decision and an opportunity, but just did not quite convert the position.
Right. Another change of look here.
Smart. I got to tell you that after being on the receiving end of Redesno's last return, I also would switch positions. Great dig out of the corner there from Sikora. Oh,
Good
what a
dig.
dig by Morgan to spin with that ball that shot out of the corner. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Sikora
30
feeling like
all.
she rushed that one a little bit. If she would have sort of let the ball drift out in front of her, that would have had a better result. But I think a little adrenaline there. It's good team coverage.
Smart choice there from Marcella.
Yep.
Both Allison and Charlotte all over the net. Hit that lob instead.
Good shot and good coverage. Cruz able to get there. This is a couple of really great defensive digs with Sikora hitting great overheads, forcing the scramble, but great shot. Nice ball, good dig.
Redesno's playing tough in that corner,
Yep.
defending very nicely.
Yep,
There we go.
absolutely. Really good point from both teams.
40,
And
30.
Morgan Sikora absolutely locked in their positioning
So we've
on
got
that point.
match point here.
Match point opportunity here. Sikora Morgan.
Oh, great
big
return.
Willing to
Score
go
it,
after it
Deuce.
on match point. You got to respect it. Stepping up and hitting it. Go. Nice. This is great defense from Cruz Redesno to find some opportunities. And Morgan Sikora, again, sort of locked in on their positioning and movement and shifting at the net, putting them in good spots. Is a smart play here from Morgan to give up the net there, knowing that it was a really deep.
Oh, Marcella would like that back.
A little bit wide. With the
Advantage
closing volley.
Sikora.
Another match point opportunity coming up here.
But it was nice to see that Sikora was not trying to make something happen that wasn't there.
Right.
She was
right.
being very patient, playing
Yeah.
very smart.
Absolutely.
There we go.
And that'll do it.
That is the
really
third set.
good from both
Morgan
teams
Sikora
battling
wins.
conditions.
6
Morgan
to
and
3. They
Sikora
lost
will
the
advance
second
to the
set.
finals.
3-6
6-2,
won the
3-6,
first set.
6-3.
6-2.
Tons of great strategy
Fantastic
adjustments.
match. Really well played.
David
Very well
Jedlick
played.
sat in that chair the entire time. He's also a true hero.
Yeah.
He may not be able to stand up right
Yeah,
away.
they'll get me.
Fine.
Somebody bring him
All
a
right,
heating
well,
pad.
Coming up,
I got a hand
we
warmer
have
here that helps me.
semifinals for
Yeah.
the
The only
men's
thing is I
side.
should have had a blanket over my
And,
legs. They're all wet.
We're going to be back shortly. And that is a wrap for this match here at the Cleveland Masters, and we'll catch you soon.
Amazing match point. What athleticism.
And there you have it, your APTA national champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up, and he's right there.